Hi, my name is Sonya Amrita, and I want to talk to you today again about divine abundance and specifically financial freedom from an awakened perspective, from a spiritual perspective, and the quality of potential that we have in our lives to live freedom from the inside out. First, I want to ask you a question. What does it mean to you to be financially free? When you think about financial freedom, what do you associate with that? And I think if you're like most people, and certainly if you're have bought into what our society has trained us to think about, then you associate financial freedom with some combination of having money or a certain amount of income, having assets, things, houses, cars, whatever, having time, and maybe even freedom of choice. And all of those things are wonderful. And while it's true that we want to support everyone in our lives to live in an external experience of abundance, what unfortunately I've seen over and over and over again is that those external things don't give anybody a sustained experience of true, empowered, everlasting freedom. I know an unfortunate number of very, very wealthy people who are making hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, and have way more than they need to live and thrive, who are stressed out, burnt out, still in conflict, and really in a kind of prison, either around making money or not having time or not having energy. And that's not true abundance. That's not true liberated abundance. That's having a thing and still being unhappy and not necessarily feeling free. And I hope that distinction makes sense. Don't get me wrong. Again, having money or things, whatever it is that you need, is great. And I want to affirm, like I talked about in the last video, that there is an intelligence and a wisdom to divine abundance. So when it flows in and through your life, it will create internal and external abundance that is aligned and true and loving and in integrity and natural for you, whatever that looks like. And I fully support you to embrace that and discover whatever that is. And the pathway to get that, the pathway to experience that quality of divine alignment and freedom isn't about chasing after these external things and these external ideas of financial freedom. It starts from the inside out. And I'm really called to name and take it another step further, which is that actually anytime you trick yourself into buying into the story that your freedom is dependent on something outside of you, you're actually, in a sense, betraying something inside you that knows the truth. It knows what true freedom is. It knows the truth of divine abundance and divine love. And I want to empower that wisdom in you that already knows this truth. Even if this wisdom is new for you, it's something you can tap into and honor and feel right now. So let's talk a little bit more then about what financial freedom really is from the perspective of divine abundance. Well, first I want to talk about the emotions around financial freedom. You know, most of the time I find that when somebody is looking for financial freedom, what they're really asking for is to release the stress, anxiety, judgments, conflicts, sacrifice, struggle, an unhealthy amount of hard work, whatever that is. They want freedom from that. And it's kind of an innocent confusion, but it is not necessarily correct that we think, oh, if I have this thing outside of me, then I won't have that experience of fear, anxiety, stress, etc. And as I've already talked about, that doesn't work. It might alleviate the pressure for a minute, longer if you're lucky, but it won't sustain. And the thing is that when you're free on the inside about money, it's almost like irony in a sense. It's like when you're free about money on the inside, you're 100 times more likely to experience a reality on the outside that feels abundant and whole and in harmony for you, right? So I want to give you a transmission of what financial freedom from an awakened perspective can feel like, what maybe it's more true to say abundance freedom, since it's not just about finances, it's much bigger than that. Divine abundance is vast. So first I invite you to take a deep breath in your being and tap into the possibility and potential of divine abundance, this vast presence in the universe. And in this presence, there's so much spaciousness. There's a lot of space. There's a deep, strong, grounded presence here. And yet simultaneously, all the stuff of life is seen so lightly. Everything is light and free. In this space, you can feel that any decision or action you make around abundance feels empowered, aligned, and true. You can feel in this space the absence of judgment and the unmistakable presence of wholeness and oneness and love. And if this is resonating for you and you are feeling this, I invite you to take a deep breath in and take it in. Really let yourself receive this experience. You can even pause this video to keep digesting this and experiencing it, expanding in it. This is closer to the real potential of abundance freedom, and there's so much more to it. But you can see and feel already, hopefully, that this is like a different universe than the one you've been taught about abundance. This is definitely a different universe than what our society tells us about abundance and freedom. And you, if you are called to awaken in this lifetime to the divine within you and all around you, then this experience of abundance and freedom is possible for you. And I invite you to walk through the gateway of awakening to divine abundance. Now, there's a price, there is a cost to walking through the door of divine abundance and awakening to divine abundance. And that price of admission, if you will, is that you get to surrender your stuff. You get to surrender your conditioning, your biases, your judgments, your history, your fears, your emotions about money, time, energy, abundance of any kind. Are you willing, are you lovingly willing to surrender these things, to walk through the gateway of divine abundance? You know what? I am called to give you like a really simple, almost silly metaphor about this, right? So if I were going to give you the castle of your dreams, anywhere in the world, all expenses paid, and the only thing you had to give up to receive this castle of your dreams is you had to go through all of your clothing and choose all the things that no longer fit you and who you are today and bring them to Goodwill. Would you do it? It's really kind of that simple. These old ideas and all this conditioning, it's like clothing on you that no longer fits you. It's not aligned with your true self. It's not aligned with your inner wisdom, and you can let it go. In the last video, I talked about how our stories and conditioning around abundance is like layers of dust on top of the truth of abundance. And I talked about how you can just release those layers of dust. And yeah, there might be a healing process to go through, but it can be that light. But I do understand that you may be asking, how do I do it? It doesn't feel necessarily always that simple for everybody. So let's talk about some key steps for how. I want to offer you 4 possibilities for how to release your dust, clothing, conditioning stories. So the first one is all about your relationship to your conditioning. and how to have a healthy relationship, in a sense, to this conditioning. What most people do is that they'll make one of two mistakes, sometimes both, and they'll either judge or resist their past and conditioning, which of course just sucks you in even stronger, right? So you don't want to do that. Or people will indulge or believe or buy into their conditioning, and then they're trapped by it, right? They're sucked in a different way. So instead of doing either of these two things, you want to compassionately witness your thoughts, feelings, emotions, stories, past, history. It's almost like you take half a step back and you just lovingly witness, wow, I went through that. You can even have a kind of appreciation and gratitude for the you of the past, all that you survived, all that you went through, all that you learned, all that your conditioning has taught you. And compassionate witnessing then brings you to a space of freedom where you can take the second step, which is to make a simple acknowledgement that you no longer need. You just truly, honestly no longer need these stories, the past, the judgments, whatever it is. It's just like looking at the pile of clothes you've sorted out and saying, well, I've loved them. I have great memories with these clothes, but I no longer need them. I am free to bring them to Goodwill. And so you are free to release these stories. And then the third step becomes really important, because just willing to let go of the stories is often not enough. You have to make a commitment, set an intention about your awakening, and allowing yourself, giving yourself the gift of awakening to divine abundance. And that might look like saying something like, I want the truth. I want God. I want consciousness. I want divine abundance more than I want my conditioning, my stories, my fears, my hurts. I want to know and feel and live divine abundance and love more than I want to hang on to my habits and my stories and my old realities. I want to say yes to divine abundance. In fact, I say yes to divine abundance and divine love. And then you can take step 4, which is to stand in that commitment and receive it in every cell of your body. Let the yes to divine love and divine abundance ripple through your whole body until you feel it all the way to your bones, all the way down through your feet. This is very powerful. This is a very powerful beginning. This combination of these 4 things, compassionate witnessing, the simple acknowledgement that you're ready to let go, committing and intending for your awakening, to your awakening, and then receiving it and standing in it. Just this beginning can start to catalyze change in your life. It can catalyze change in so many ways, more than I could even name here. It could catalyze you to see your conditioning more easily and release it more effortlessly. If you need support and a loving container around this process, it can help you to see that, identify it, and say yes to it, take advantage of it. Doing these 4 things can help you take aligned and loving action in your life that, again, is more in truth with your divine wisdom and abundance. And doing these 4 things makes it ever more possible, easy, full of potential for you to walk through that gateway of awakening to divine abundance. I truly hope that you are receiving this from this video and that you'll take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of you. I offer this with so much love. And there's, of course, a lot more to talk about. I mean, a lot. So please stay tuned for more articles and videos and free teachings, classes, recordings on awakening and divine abundance. Click on the link below. Share this with loved ones who could benefit. And thank you so much for watching. Blessings for your awakening to abundance and love. And namaste.